Oh, your keyboard is so fucking loud, bro. Literally, literally, I cannot focus. And it sounds like I'm in the middle of a war zone.
Hi. So it's been a while. This video has been half completed since like mid-March, so around 3 months later, I figured I'd actually finish a project for once in my life and get this done. For perspective, this was the weather when I first started the project, and this is the weather now. Given everything that's been happening, there's either a 0 or 100% chance that buying a new keyboard is on your mind. Regardless, I needed an excuse to procrastinate. Like, I needed more? Who wrote this? Whatever, let's just get this over with. This is the Pro 2, a 60% Bluetooth mechanical keyboard that you can get for around 100 Canadian dollars. I am not okay. For the uninitiated, 60% means that this keyboard doesn't have the arrow keys or numpad of a traditional TKL or 104 key keyboard. You might think that that's outrageous, it's
unfair.
And well, it kind of is, but there are definitely some advantages to having a smaller keyboard. Was that intentional? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. The case is made of a nice solid plastic. Not that it's possibly a liquid case, whatever. At an angle that's pretty good for typing in general. You'll probably need a wrist rest to be most comfortable. One that expresses how much you suck at chemistry is ideal. There's a little switch on the back to turn Bluetooth on and off, and you're able to use the thing in wired or wireless mode using the included USB-C port on the back. Overall, the keyboard looks pretty nice and unintrusive, something that would fit in with pretty much any setup or environment in my opinion. The keys are made of a nice high-quality PBT plastic with a nice font and backlighting cutouts that don't scream
really demoralizing,
which is apparently pretty impressive given the wealth of such keyboards out there. The Pro 2 comes with a bunch of switch options that I'm not going to say, but they'll be on screen, and in either a white or black color for the case and keycaps. Semi-useless information aside, how good is this thing? Well, the Pro 2 is a pretty good keyboard option for usage in small spaces or traveling, although if you're buying a mechanical keyboard for traveling, you either have a lot of money or you just hate people. Anyways, if what you're doing mostly involves typing, you probably won't miss the arrow keys and numpad all that much, and there are programmable shortcuts for literally whatever you want. Also, you can use this thing wirelessly with your laptop, tablet, smartphone, whatever has Bluetooth, so that works too. It's also a great starting point for modding if you want to go down that rabbit hole. You have a crap ton of disposable income. Like a crap ton. Unfortunately, as much as I'm hyping this up, this keyboard definitely does have its issues. The Pro subreddit, yeah, there's a subreddit for a fucking keyboard, is full of people having various issues with Bluetooth connectivity on pretty much any device possible. While I personally haven't noticed any issues connecting to both my iPhone and my laptop, there have been a bunch of complaints about issues with Bluetooth on Mac, for which we're going to bring in Andy from 3 months ago to talk about that. Yeah, we can time travel.
Oh, hi. So this keyboard, yeah, it's really cool. It's a 60% Mac. It's quite spicy. Here's the thing. At least from my experience, I've been completely unable to actually connect this keyboard to Mac OS. And for something where it's a wireless keyboard and its main selling point is Bluetooth, not being able to connect with Bluetooth to another computer is sort of a no-no. It's kind of rough. So just give me 1 second. So I got a Mac. Don't ask where I got it. Don't ask questions. Just don't be curious. I have a Mac. Got a Mac. I've acquired a Mac. You know, from some source, from somewhere, got a Mac, now I have a Mac. Anyways, back to the keyboard, right? So the Pro 2 connects fine over a wire to Mac OS. Like you can just plug it in with a USB-C port up here. And the onboard remappings and stuff are still saved across computers. However, once I try to connect via Bluetooth, macOS recognizes this as a Bluetooth device, but it doesn't see it as a keyboard, so it's not actually able to connect. So I've tried pairing it over and over again, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't connect to to the iMac, which is really frustrating because, you know, I don't like wired cables. I sort of want to have a cleaner desk, so I don't want to have cables running everywhere, right? But, you know, hopefully in the future, OpenSkit will release a firmware update that'll fix this issue, but for now, it's still quite annoying that you can't connect this keyboard wirelessly to macOS.
Thanks, dude. Okay, so about those arrow keys, or rather a lack thereof. Their absence is mitigated by this thing that Obens calls the tap functionality, which is kind of weird, but largely works and can also be remapped to literally anything in the software. Speaking of the software, it's definitely strange. It technically has all the features you'd need, an excellent way to remap keys on multiple layers, a pretty nice lighting suite, this weird semi-functional visualizer mode that I don't know why they have it, but I guess it's there. It all works, it comes together rather jankily, but it does technically work. So while I have nothing bad to say about it, it's just weird. As far as use cases go, this thing is great for typing, okay for gaming, and maybe not for anything else. The F keys are really annoying to use if you're using them for gaming or any type of app. Apps like Blender that rely heavily on the numpad are almost unusable. And editing is an extreme nightmare. I know this because I edited this video on the keyboard and I would not recommend it. The lack of arrow keys and the way they kind of don't always work all the time makes it pretty annoying.
Hi, this is Editor Mii, and I approve this statement. I'm dying.
But you do kind of get used to it.
I'm dying.
And now I'm going to shut up and let you guys laugh at my horrible typing skills as I test the Gateron brown switches on this keyboard, and you can watch Andy actually type properly and test the Gateron red switches. You're going to see that there really isn't much difference in the sound, because the difference in between these two switches is really the feel. Browns have like a more tactile, bumpy feel, and then reds are more straight and linear. I can't really explain how these feel, so you'll have to try them out yourself. I'm sorry. So, in the end, this keyboard fits a pretty damn specific niche. Is it great for everything I do? Absolutely not. Am I still using it? Yup. I totally would probably prefer a 75% or larger keyboard or just something that has arrow keys, but I've kind of learned to work with the quirks and definite shortcomings of this keyboard. So, you know, given its faults, overall it's a pretty decent keyboard. But, you know, you guys read the title, you're here for some existentialism. Why the fuck did I buy this keyboard in the first place? Was it because Ooga Booga Caveman like RGB keyboard? Was it because I wanted something nice to look at while typing? Was it because I wanted to feel more secure about myself as an individual by investing in a product that added little real value to my life but perpetuated the illusion that I'm so desperately trying to create for myself, in which I actually have the ability to make good, rational decisions pertaining to my own life? Who knows? I'm not okay. In the end, this is a pretty stupid product. All nice keyboards are. I mean, why would you buy a nice keyboard if the one that came with your computer works just fine, right? I mean, why do we buy anything if not to feed the endless capitalist loop of the world that we live in? Fucking did it again. Look, if you're on the hunt for a relatively affordable 60% Bluetooth mechanical keyboard, the Pro 2 is a great choice. Just make sure you actually want a 60% first. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to comment, like, whatever. See you in 2 years for my next video. For the audience. Speaking of software, you're here for some existentialism. That's my script. That's my script.
Gotta return this to the factory that I stole it from. Going insane. Going insane. I am going insane. It was hailing outside a second ago. I don't actually use macOS. I just sit and play video games all day. What am I doing with my life?